Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are Surah Al Imran, Surah number 3, verse number 33. So 333. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وعزيزنا وكريمنا ورحيمنا ونبينا محمد رسول الله أما بعد إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوحا وآل إبراهيم وآل عمران على العالمين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have chosen Adam and Nuh and Ibrahim and the family of Ibrahim and the family of Imran upon all of the creations I have created. These four families are special. Why? Adam alayhi salam, he is the first father. He inspired the birth and the lineage of all human creation links back to Adam. In Urdu they say Adami, comes from the word Adam. Just the way a Hanafi is someone who follows Imam Abu Hanifa. Shafi'i, someone who follows Imam Shafi'i. A Masri, someone who's from Egypt. Lebanese, someone from Lebanon. Pakistani, someone from Pakistan. Adami, someone who's related to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. So Adam alayhi salam was the initial father. Then after Nuh alayhi salam, Rabbi la tadar ala al-ardi min al-kafirin dayyara innaka in tadarhum lam yalidu illa walidan fajjara, right? Kafara. So Nuh alayhi salam was considered the second father. Adam alayhi salam, original father. Nuh alayhi salam, second father. Ibrahim alayhi salam is considered a father as well. Why? He's Abul Anbiya. He is the father of Anbiya. After Ibrahim alayhi salam, every prophet came from his lineage. All of them came from Ishaq alayhi salam, besides one who came from Ismail alayhi salam, and that was Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then Ala Imran, the family of Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Imran, his wife Hamna, daughter Maryam, uncle Zakaria, cousin Yahya, son Isa alayhi salatu wa salam. 6 people from one family Allah mentions in the Quran. Most people get one name mentioned. Few prophets had their whole family mentioned. Yusuf alayhi salam had 13 people from his family mentioned. Musa alayhi salam had himself mentioned. His mother was mentioned. His brother was mentioned. His sister was mentioned. His wife was mentioned. His sister-in-law was mentioned. His father-in-law was mentioned. 7 people from that family were mentioned. Ali Imran, a whole surah is dedicated to the family of the mother of Isa alayhi salam. Commonly when we talk to Christians, we say that, is there any chapter or verse in your whole Bible that is dedicated to Mary? And they will say, no. We say, forget, we have a chapter by the name of Surah Maryam, but we have a whole chapter, forget Maryam, the family of Maryam first. Our love of Isa alayhi salam is so strong that forget Isa alayhi salam, his mother is included, her parents, grandparents are included as well. And what does this teach us? The father of Maryam alayhi salam's name was Imran, not Joseph, the carpenter. Or do they say Joseph was the husband, right, of Mary? That's what they say. Families come from each other. Wallahu sami'un alim. And Allah listens and Allah knows. إذ قالت امرأة عمران ربي إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم. Imran and Hamna couldn't have children for a very long time. Finally she does dua and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives her a kid. She's expecting a child. As I mentioned last time, we don't use the word when you're talking about someone who is about to have a child. You don't use, out of etiquette and manner, adab, you don't say this person is pregnant. This is not adab. The adab is this person is expecting. This is the adab of mentioning, whether it's your family member, relative, it's a more respectful terminology than directly saying a person is pregnant or using that word. So when she's expecting, she says, Inni nadartu laka ma fi batni. Oh my Allah, whatever child I have, ma fi batni, whatever I'm about to have, la muharraran. This child of mine will be dedicated for you. Back in the day, people would have many children. They weren't like today, hum do, hamare do, chota khandan, zindagi asan. Back in the day, people had, mashallah, large family, and they would say, one child of mine is dedicated for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is very common amongst the Memon families and the Gujarati families. You have one kid has to become Hafid al-Quran. They say, ye padega, Allah paisa dega humko. This one will read, inshallah, he will do ibadah, and Allah will bless us from the above. So that's why you'll find a lot of Hafad in their families. This culture is slowly dying out. What we do? The child who doesn't listen, who doesn't pay attention, who doesn't, who's the troublesome at home, chalo madrasa mein take. We'll give him to madrasa. So now what happens? Every parent sends their shaitan to madrasa. And then what happens in madrasa? Because madrasa took shayateen inside. And people come, oh, my kid is going to madrasa, didn't learn how to behave. Well, that's because everyone sends their worst. Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi rahmatullahi alayhi one time in a fundraiser said, today I don't ask the wealthy for their money, but I ask the wealthy to give their children. So that the ulama tomorrow are not worried about their stomach and they have no care and desire for the wealth of people. They themselves are mustaghni. It's easy to give donation. It's easy to put money down. Wallahi, the difficult thing is to put your children and say, I dedicate this child for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That this child of mine, Allah, I have given this to you. We can give everything to Allah, but truly once you give your child to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you can stand up and say, I have given something to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ma fi batni muharraran. And she's imagining a boy to be born. فَتَقَبَّلْ مِنِّي. Oh my Allah, accept from me. إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. You listen, you know. What does this teach us? She doesn't have the child yet. She's only expecting the child. The child hasn't done any ibadah. But what is she saying? رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ. While you are doing the action, before you do the action, do dua to Allah, Allah accept our action. So I haven't even begun the action. I haven't even begun leading my tarawih. Ya Allah, accept this tarawih from me. Tarawih is done, then again say, Ya Allah, accept it from me. I'm volunteering somewhere. Before you even volunteer, oh my Allah, accept this volunteering from me. Oh my Allah, accept my endeavors from me. Oh my Allah, make it easy for me. Oh my Allah, protect my iman and my faith while I try to accomplish this task. إنك أنت السميع العليم. فلما وضعتها قالت ربي إني وضعتها أنثى. When she gives birth, she's thinking a boy is going to be born. And we all have that aspiration, boy. And then, girl, not the same happiness. Because who's going to work for us? Who's going to do khidmah for us? This is not what she was thinking. She's thinking of the akhirah. The Prophet ﷺ said the person who has 4 daughters, Allah knows what she gave birth to. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. That boy you wanted to have is not like the girl I just gave you. You wanted to have something, but the girl I gave you is far superior than the boy you ever imagined to have. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. وَإِنِّي سَمَّيْتُهَا مَرْيَمَ وَإِنِّي أُعِيذُهَا بِكَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. I have named her Maryam, and I seek refuge from you for her and her children from Shaitan al-Rajim. During intimacy, there is a dua that most people do not recite, which results in obviously bad akhlaq and bad character for children. The Prophet ﷺ gave a certain dua that in intimacy to recite this dua so that the children are born without the effects and the attachment to shaitan. And that dua is, Allahumma jannib shaitan wa jannib shaitan ma razaqtani. Allahumma jannib shaitan, oh Allah, turn shaitan away, wa jannib ma razaqtani, and remove him away from what I'm about to give birth to. Maryam alayhi salam is the only woman mentioned in the Quran. No other woman is mentioned in the Quran. And the reason is that generally amongst the Arab culture, a woman's name was Awra. And this was till now, very recently. A woman's name was Awra. So if a woman's name was Fatima, you wouldn't call her Fatima. You'd call her, for example, that was his mother's name, Hamza or Khalid. You would call her Fulan, mother of so-and-so, to keep a discrete level of identity of their name. Because even in a name there is ladda. When you like someone and you're attracted to someone, if you can't get them, their name is still beloved to you. The name has an effect. So there was a certain cloaking of the name that used to take place. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Maryam is far beyond any tuhma and any objection, any slander. She is the purest of pure. Allah takes her name. فَتَقَبَّلَهَا رَبُّهَا بِقَبُولٍ حَسَنٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted her dua. وَأَنْبَتَهَا نَبَاتًا حَسَنًا. and Allah grew for her a amazing plant or amazing flower. Why does Allah liken children to plants and flowers? Because children, they require time, patience, factors, seasons, years to grow and culture. When I was studying in South Africa, Zakaria, and when we graduated as scholars, not everybody was someone of an impeccable level of intelligence and academic and endeavor. And there will always be a few that you would look at and you would say, wait, they shouldn't graduate. So I went back to my ustad one year in South Africa, Mani. I said, Maulana, I know you struggle with this, but I also struggle with students as well. People come in front of me and they study, and I'm trying to bring a change into them, but they don't stay with me for that long, maybe a few months, a year, 2 years, then they go away, and I'm unable to fully do their tarbiyah. So what is the point of beginning it in the first place? And this is for the parents. He said, your job isn't to do tarbiyah, your job is to plant the seed. Plant the right seeds in your kids, and the different seasons will make that seed grow. They will have some garmi ka mausam and kuch narmi ka mausam. Some good days and some cold days and hot days and easy days and difficult days. And storms will come in their life, but that seed and that plant will keep growing until it blossoms into a tree and a strong rooted believer in Islam. But you have to implant the right seeds. I used to debate very often with Christians when I was much younger. And then I realized if you win the debate, you lose the person. So then I stopped. And then what do now? I just plant seeds. Sitting next to a Christian person next to me on the plane. Sir, Christian, oh yeah, let's start talking. First of all, whenever I enter a plane, people say extra Assalamu alaikum to me. So when they see me, extra. How are you doing? It's really nice to have you here. I'm like, thank you for the welcome. Even I'm a priority member, and even they didn't welcome me like this. So they tried making friendship first. So then I talk to them, and then I'll give you some examples of things that I say. The Bible, that's the holy book, right? Yeah, that's my holy book. Oh. You know, we also believe in the Bible. Yeah, we believe Jesus taught the Bible. Oh yeah, that's amazing. No, we didn't. Yeah, we heard this, or we didn't hear this. Okay. So Jesus taught the Bible too, right? Yeah, he did. So he taught the New Testament. No, he taught the Old Testament. Like, oh. So Jesus never saw the New Testament. No, he didn't. He taught the Old Testament. Yeah, he did. Is his name mentioned in the Old Testament? Yeah, God. No, is his name explicitly mentioned in the Old Testament? No, his name isn't mentioned. I don't know. I have to check. Wow, that's interesting. Never thought of it like that. Oh, thank you. I wanted to talk to you. That's it. Thank you. There we go. Planted the seed and moved on. And now let their own journey grow that seed. وَكَفَّلَهَا زَكَرِيَّا. So now what happened was that when Maryam alayhi salam was born and she was getting older, they dedicated a corner of the masjid for her. So now if you go into Masjid al-Aqsa, when you walk into Masjid al-Aqsa has 3 sections to it. It has a central section, then it has a left section and a right section. It looks the exact same, but you can tell the difference from the ceiling. The middle of the ceiling is different, the right and the left is different. So as you are walking along the left side of the ceiling, you will see 2 niches in the masjid, like 2 corner rooms. The first corner room is for Maryam alayhi salam, and the second corner room is Zakaria alayhi salam. This is where they used to do i'tikaf, and not i'tikaf for 1-2 days. Their life was i'tikaf for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake. They had dedicated that for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now the question was, she's still a girl, she's still young, who's going to be there that's going to supervise her, teach her, mentor her, educate her? So everyone had pens, and they put their names in the pens, or they had unique pens. It wasn't like manufactured, everyone had the exact same big pen. No, everyone different pens. And they put it inside a water. And whoever's pen floated up or whoever's pen was pulled out was the individual that was going to take care of Maryam alayhi salam. And now, when they kept on doing it, Zakaria alayhi salam's name kept on coming out. He was an uncle to Maryam alayhi salam, but at the same time, he was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Zakaria alayhi salatu wa salam had the Yahud chasing him. And Zakaria alayhi salam went and a tree opened up and it said, I will hide you. So Zakaria alayhi salam went inside the tree and the tree closed up and it hid him. And Shaitan and some others said, Zakaria is inside here, he's over here. And they went and they chopped the tree down and they killed Zakaria alayhi salam while he was in the miracle of being hidden and caved inside a tree. He was known to have a very long life, lived over 100 years. Very long life he lived. And gave da'wah to Banu Israel and taught them. Look, Zakaria is a prophet, Yahya alayhi salam is a prophet. And then you have Isa alayhi salam, but he's higher than both of them. This shows children can excel their parents. It is very possible and plausible for children to excel their parents. Speaking of that, Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi was of the opinion that Maryam alayhi salam was a prophet. But the majority opinion of the scholars is that Maryam alayhi salam was not a prophet. That she was a righteous person. It's a minority opinion of few scholars who say Maryam alayhi salam was a prophet and prophethood existed in men and women together and not just men. But in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَّا رِجَالًا نُوحِي إِلَيْهِ, that we only send down men that we gave wahi to and we gave nubuwah to. Allah says that in the Quran. So now, كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب, when Zakaria alayhi salam would go and visit Maryam alayhi salam, she would be sitting down, tasbih in hand, dua to Allah, وَجَدَ عِنْدَهَا رِزْقًا, she would see that there would be food already set there for her. And it would be ajib, is because, for example, it's the season of winter, and no fruits are growing, but the season of summer's fruits are there. And in the summer, the other season's fruits, other places' fruits. How did it get over here? وَجَدَ عِنْدَهَا رِزْقًا, she found food around her at all times. قَالَ يَا مَرْيَمُ أَنَّى لَكِ هَذَا, oh Maryam, where did this come from? That shows you what, it's okay if parents ask their children, where did you get this? Mom, that's not your business, it's mine. But they have the right. أَنَّى لَكِ هَذَا, look, Zakaria alayhi salam is asking, how'd you get this? قالت هو من عند الله. Then you give this jawab, it's from Allah. So when it came, what did she say? هو من عند الله, it's from Allah. You know, Zakaria alayhi salam, you know how pious I am, right? And you know, this is minor miracle. I could do more, but these are just minor miracles right there. We chop ourselves up, make ourselves feel good. Everything back to Allah. All praises belong to Allah. All greatness belongs to Allah. All du'as belong to Allah. All sacredness belongs to Allah. All sanctity belongs to Allah. All superiority belongs to Allah. All sovereignty belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every capacity. Inna Allah yarzuqu man yasha'u bighayri hisab. Allah gives rizq to whomever He wants bighayri hisab, without hisab. Allah gives without any hisab. Allah doesn't sit there and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to give them a little. No, Allah gives us more than we can ever imagine. One man, there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that inna rizqa la yatlubu ar-rajul kama yatlubuhu ajaluhu, that your rizq will follow you the way your death follows you. So one man said, you know what, I want to see how my rizq follows me. So the whole day he said, I'm not going to eat anything, and I'm going to see in 24 hours if something will enter my stomach. So now as the time starts going on, you know, people back in the day, you know, you have little restaurants here, everyone inside. Back in the day, it was a bazaar. And you just walk through the streets, and you just see everyone is selling something, and you can just go pick up from them. You see this back at home in our home countries. I was walking in Sylhet in Bangladesh. Anyone from Bangladesh here? Balasani. Afna bari khoy. Buisha, and yourself? Nawakali, mashallah. I've had shutki. If you're Bengali, you know the value of shutki. Yeah. Most of your children have never had shutki, but I have had it. And you just see people standing on the street, someone selling this grain, someone selling this samosa, someone selling this pastry, someone selling this mishti, someone selling this thing, this thing. Everyone is selling different objects. So the same way he's going through and he's smelling this food and he says, oh man, I'm going to end up eating something. So he goes to the graveyard. And now while he's at the graveyard, he's looking around, seeing the different stones, walking. And then on one grave he sees a box of laddu. You know what laddu is, right? Those greasy yellow, enlarged diabetic balls. Sometimes when people give desi mithai, I don't know if they're giving in friendship or in hatred. I don't know if they're doing it so you live longer or live shorter. Do we have any healthy cuisine? You know, sometimes my mother cooks and I tell her, a little less oil, she's saying, oil in mazai. Put a little extra oil inside there. And then you have the Americans, with their one spoon of oil, they can feed their whole family. We have one spoon of oil in each of our biryani spoons. What do we eat? So he says, he sees this box of laddu. He says, oh, I'm about to eat it. So he starts running, and a group of people grab him. And they said, we were sitting down by our father's grave, and we were about to eat food, and we went to go use the restroom and came back. What did you put inside our food? He said, nothing. They said, no, we saw you come near our food. Because you know, sometimes you can't eat food, but then you go to the kitchen at Iftar time to smell it. You know, there's still an hour left. You know, samosa, pastry, this, chana, and if you're just looking at it, getting the talab ready. So when Iftar comes, stood patte, right? You just break down on it, and mashallah, it's as if you're invading Badr at that time. So now, he goes, and he's like, no, I didn't do anything. He said, you poisoned it, didn't you? He said, I didn't. He said, oh yeah? Eat it then. He said, no, I cannot eat it because I have this thing going on and I'm trying to do this. He said, eat it. He started beating him up, grabbed the mithai and shoved it down his throat. And then it's in his mouth, he ends up swallowing it. And after he's done, he gets up, he says, now I know that my risk will follow me until I either die or I eat it and then die. One or the other things will happen, but my risk will get to me. When we used to study in Darul Ulum, in Madrasa in South Africa, many of the students weren't very wealthy. I had a classmate who only had one pair of socks. Our students, they used to come in the first year and then leave after the 7th year because they couldn't afford to go back. Their parents would not recognize them at the airports. They didn't have the picture phones like they're so rampant right now. And in the third world countries, these things with data and all that, internet is not all that advanced as it is now. I remember seeing one guy from Mauritius. And I said, when did you leave? He said, I left home when I was 11. I was a small boy. He's like, and now I'm 21, 22 years old, and I'm finally going back to see my mother and father. 7 to 9 years without seeing your parents. Bayezid Bustami rahimahullah. I told you about his story a few days ago. He's a great scholar. But his father passed away as he was a kid. His mother took him. She took him to the madrasa, and she said to the ustad, she said, do me a favor, teach my child. He was probably around 7, 8 years old at that time, 9 years old maybe. She said, teach my child. And do me a favor, and promise me one thing. Do not send my child back until my child doesn't become a friend of Allah. Only send me my child back when he's a wali Allah. Today, make my child hafiz. How fast is Maulana Sahib? He's only done studied. Maulana Sahib, he needs to, mashallah, koi baat nahi, door kacha ho raha, it's okay. Let's get it forward. We need that hafiz certificate. So most of them are hafizes. They only know half the Quran. The Quran is only half that they know, not the rest of it they know. And then when they're reading Quran, they're reading the story of Nuh alayhi salam, and then they're drowning Nuh alayhi salam in Musa alayhi salam's flood. They're putting Yusuf alayhi salam in the well and then leaving him there, and not taking him out afterwards. This is what happens when you're a hafiz. So she goes, she says, go and say, make my child a wali Allah, and then give him back to me. This is the etiquette of akhlaq. Little boy's there, mother is alone, she's at home. It's in the same village. And the kid began studying. But as every child, when they're away from home, they begin remembering their home. So the little 9-year-old boy goes to his teacher and he says, Ustadji, I really miss my mom. I really, really miss her. Can I go home? How can you deny a child's request? So the teacher says, I promised the mother. But here's the child. So the teacher says, okay, I can't say no to the kid. But what I could do is I can give him a condition. That if you learn this much, and you recite the sabaq to me tonight, I will let you go home. If you recite the lesson to me tonight, I will let you go home. So he gives him so much work that he knows it's not possible to complete in a day. When the kid sees it, he realized what the teacher is doing. But he said, I can't go to my ustad and ask for a reduction in the lesson. It's disrespect. He said, I can't do that. He takes it, goes in his room, and he thinks to himself, he said, the teacher taught me one lesson. That anything I want, anything I need, Allah can do for me. And if I ever get stuck, talk to Allah. So he raised his small hands in front of Allah. And he said, Ya Allah, خالق السماوات والأرض. You created the heavens and the earth. You created the mountains and the trees and the sands. And you created the animals and all creations in the universe and the galaxies. Ya Allah, I'm an insignificant speck in your galaxy. My mind is a small element in your entire creation. Ya Allah, I can't memorize these things, and I miss my mother, and you're the only one that can make me learn this, and you're the only one that can allow me to digest this, and give me the intellect to be able to absorb this, Ya Allah. And he cried in this dua with his small little hands over and over again, and then he began studying, and by nightfall he learned the entire lesson. Goes to the Ustad's expecting him to say that I didn't learn it. He goes and he reads the whole lesson. Ustad says, okay, deal's a deal. You can go visit mom. So this boy is skipping and jumping, excited that I'm going to hide here, and when my mom comes, I'm going to scare her this way, and I'm going to hug her in this manner, and she's going to cook this for me, and she's going to make this for me, and she's going to hold me in this manner, and we're going to talk and joke and laugh. And he arrives at the door and he knocks on the door. But no answer comes. Knocks again. No answer comes. Man yaqra'u al-bab? Who knocks on my door? And Bayezid responds and says, Mom, it's your Bayezid. And the mother says, it cannot be my Bayezid, for my Bayezid will only return when he's a wali of Allah. The mother had told the teacher, the reason I'm doing this is because I know if my kid he doesn't have a father, and he's emotionally attached, but I fear that my emotional attachment will make him not be successful in life. And before his father passed away, he said, do me a favor and make my child a wali of Allah. So I'm honoring the dying wishes of a man. And I know this journey is a difficult journey, but this can only be accomplished through sacrifice. Did Musa a.s.'s mother not have to send her kid off? Did she not have to put a stone on her heart? So the kid begins crying, and he returned home. Red cheeks, streaks going down, and the teacher says, so soon you've come back. He said, my teacher, my mother told me not to come back until I'm not a friend of Allah. So the teacher sees the kid crying, and he goes to the teacher, he says, my teacher, can you do me a favor? Just make one dua. He said, what's the dua? That my mother has a long life, and that she witnesses my success. So he says, let me ask you a question, my son. He said, did you feel angry and upset? Did you feel angry and upset when your mother told you that? Did you get upset at her? And he said, no, I didn't. Not even for a second. I understood where she was coming from. And the teacher said, my son, if this is your attitude, then I know for sure you're going to be successful. 10 years later, finally, all of education and classes and everything are done. And the teacher says, now you can go home. And 10 years later, he comes back to his home, knocks on his door.